The following LooneyVirus episode was recorded on April 7th, 2020, in case of coronavirus lockdown. However, we have been lucky enough to not have to use them for that purpose. In this instance, we are using them because one of us is out of town. So if you enjoy this episode, join us next time for our review of Toy Story. See you then. Jacob, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Drew. But wouldn't Moriarty disappear out of the holodeck?
I think the only thing holographic is your brain. No, you fool, we're going to review an animated movie on this here podcast.
Brilliant! No, wait. Why would anybody want to listen to two geeks like us?
Because, you fool, these people are so very easily entertained.
Okay, Drew. Narf!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cel Cast.
Shorts!
Joining me today is a man who's just not feeling like himself lately. Jacob.
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce a man who just likes to drop anvils. Welcome, Drew.
How are you doing today, Jacob?
Man, I'm doing good. It's good. Long day. Whole new world and just working through it.
Oh, yeah. Same here, pretty much. So, what we're doing right here, folks, is, with the current situation that we're all living through at the moment.
Yes.
Namely coronavirus. And we want to make sure that we have episodes for you every week. And there could be a chance, although we'd hate to think it, that we might not be in a position where we can record a full episode. So while we are still able to come over to Jacob's house and record stuff, we thought we'd record a bunch of shorts. And I got to remember to say this now every time, I just realized. So today's shorts, and the shorts we decided to do actually were the Looney Tunes or Merry Melodies, depending on which brand they put it under this time.
Yeah.
So the episode we're actually doing, the short we're actually doing today is Duck Amuck, directed by Chuck Jones, and the cast is just Mel Blanc, playing both playing Daffy Duck. I don't think we're going to worry about spoilers because if you have never watched Looney Tunes, go find a way.
Yeah. Plus, this was made in the 50s.
And let's face it, if you're our age, you probably watched this one. You just might not remember it. But for those of you who are just curious, as a quick summary, in this one, Daffy Duck is trying to make a cartoon, but he keeps running into trouble every step of the way because the cartoonist is not giving him any help. It's actually making things worse, and hilarity ensues. So yeah, if you need a spoiler warning, here's where it's going to go. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the Looney Tunes short, Duck Amuck. Listener discretion is advised. So, what did you think of this short?
Oh, I was busting a gut just the entire time. It's like you said, be like, people of our age, in our mid-30s, be like, remember very fondly getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
We might be the last generation that actually had this as their Saturday morning cartoons.
Possibly.
Or had this in their Saturday morning cartoons.
So, getting up in the morning, early in the morning, watching your cartoons, your Fruit Loops, your Pop-Tarts, what have you.
Orange juice.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yes.
I think mine was actually like a breakfast sandwich or something like that because I was like,
who knows?
Yeah.
But still.
Either way, be like getting up and watching Looney Tunes in the morning before everything else came on.
Yes.
And so be like watching this kind of it drew me back to my childhood of sitting in front of the TV and my dad telling me, you guys need to go outside and play. It's like, but we got cartoons going on, Dad. It's okay. 2 hours. 2 hours.
Power Rangers will be off by then.
Something like that. We weren't allowed to watch Power Rangers for some weird reason.
Whatever your cartoon of choice was at the time probably came on just as your dad forced you to go outside.
Something like that. But it's like, this was a fun different perspective of a cartoon or a short, where we get Daffy Duck. He is a musketeer in a musketeer cartoon,
for about 5 seconds.
5 seconds, and the animator just seems to want to just wreak havoc with the duck's life.
First, you can't keep the background straight from musketeers to a farm to the Arctic to Hawaii. And then
just plain background.
They does draw one little town, technically.
Yes, he does.
Like a kindergartner drew it, but it works. But
I've never seen a kindergartner draw that well, though.
And that fast.
And that fast too.
But of course, there's no color, so Daffy says, "Hey, we got to have color," and the artist starts painting Daffy. It's like, okay, yeah, this is funny. Yeah, ha ha. And it just slowly goes from there to where they're fighting. The sound disappears, and then when the sound comes back, it's all sound effects that do not match what's on screen.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff. If you've not seen Duck Amuck,
it is hysterical.
It is probably my favorite Looney Tune, ironically. Of course, it ends where the person who's giving Daffy all this trouble is Bugs.
Of course. Ain't I a stinker?
Yeah. And Mel Blanc does both voices, of course.
Yes. It is the amazing Mel Blanc.
It is funny. It is hysterical. And yeah, it brought back memories for me also from this time. So yeah.
I'd be like there again. I enjoyed it. I don't think you can really go wrong with a Merry Melodies or a Looney Tunes short. You really can't. Be like there's a lot of them out there that I really wish they would bring back, even though they're not politically correct anymore.
Well, we might get to that. We might talk about those later.
Maybe eventually.
Yes.
But yeah, they're amazing. They're wonderful, and I think kids of the new generation be like, because I know there's a lot of kids be like, because I had a chance to go and work with preteens for a time, and at one point we're sitting around and like kids are just bored out of their skull, and so I bring up YouTube and I'm showing trailers of the cartoons I watched.
Yeah,
like Thundercats, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Darkwing Duck, all that good stuff. And they are just blown away. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so cool. Or like one of the kids popped up. It's like, yeah, my dad watched this show as a kid because we're both the same age.
Yeah. And
it's really cool because I guarantee a lot of them are like, what is this? This is funny, but I don't get it. Because I think every generation needs to experience Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies.
So, is that about pretty much all we've got to talk about on this short?
Pretty much the point where they take away Daffy's voice and start be like he sounds like a bullhorn. Yeah. He sounds like a little quack duck. It's hysterical. And it's the point of insanity where everything, because it's literally driving him insane, and he literally pulls himself out of the next frame and is about to beat himself up.
That's one of the points. It's a joke. I'm not sure it was close enough for us to get it back when we first saw this.
Yeah.
Even though they were still using film at the time, but the fact that the film gets out of sync enough where you can supposedly see the bar that would have been between the frames, even though I don't think they actually left that much room in the film.
No, they didn't.
In those days.
No.
But especially on Looney Tunes shorts. But that's not something that really transfers, especially to, unfortunately, today's day and time, because they don't use film anymore.
Yeah, it's all digital.
So that might throw you off a bit when it gets to that point, but
I think people in general would understand.
I think people in general would understand. It's funny. It's good-natured, and it's clean.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely family-friendly, because I don't even think there was anything that was even innuendo in this particular one.
No.
Might be some later.
Well, it is Looney Tunes.
It is Looney Tunes. So,
I think Daffy at one point would be like, yeah, get it right, stupid.
Yeah, that's about it. So, yeah.
Also, there's a lot of language which Daffy uses
there's
that
a
was
lot
just
of
like a lot of older.
Nothing that's when we say language, we don't mean like curse words or anything like that, of course.
The vernacular of the day.
The vernacular of the day is dated.
Yes.
Like when he's in a plane and says, "Oh, I'm a buzzboy." It's like, that's a weird term.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Don't get me wrong, but it's a weird term. Yeah, I don't know why I'm at a loss for words on this.
Yeah.
It's just a fun cartoon. It's not got much story, admittedly, other than Daffy fighting the animator for the whole thing. And it's a series of gags, one right after another. It's essentially all it is, but it's funny.
Yes, it is.
It is, and very well done, I think. So, what would you rate this if you had to give it a rating?
Oh, I'll give it a 10. Just the fact that, it's the fact that we are dealing with at this point. Let's see, the 1950s. We're looking at 70 years ago, almost 70 years ago, and just it still holds up. It'd be like, it's on Blu-ray, it's been restored, but at the same time, be like, it still holds up. Be like, we're not going to get most of the references because they're 70 years old, but it still retains that the fun, the hilarious, the humor, the slapstick, the like all the elements which make Looney Tunes, and so I enjoy it. So 10.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 10 also. I will admit this might be my favorite from when I was a kid just because of how out there it really is. And this might be what cemented my love early on for meta humor. Because this is probably the first thing I ever saw that used meta humor as an art form. It's a funny show. It's great. Like I said, it is just a series of gags, one after another. There's not really a story, but it's still just a fun cartoon.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing I would have loved. I would have ate up as a kid while waiting on Power Rangers or something like that to come on. Or waiting for the next Pink Panther short, which we'll have to do those eventually. But I'm going to give it a 10.
Yeah. All right.
So that brings us to the end. Keep an eye out for whatever our next episode is. Be it another Looney Tunes short or maybe a full movie. We will make that decision when we come to it.
Yes.
So keep an eye out. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh, boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
They can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron and Jacob's Daily Art Corner, my personal art Facebook page. On Twitter at Jacob B. Heron, on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, and on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also find my Facebook page at Drew's Photo Bin, where I upload my photography. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759 and Twitter at GGeorge759. Where can they find us, Jacob?
You can also visit our website, thecelcast.podbean.com, where you will find every episode we released and links to listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our RSS feed, if we aren't in your favorite podcast app directory, please share, review, and subscribe to us there and share us with your friends.
You will also find a link to our Facebook group, the Double Feature Podcast Community, where we talk about both animated and live-action movies. We share this with our other podcasts, which we do with Jacob's brother Jim, at the Movie of the Week podcast, where we talk about live-action movies. You can also email us at thecelcastpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please like our page on Facebook. We try to post about upcoming movies. If you comment on that movie's post before we record, we'll read your comments in the episode. And remember, every time we say the Cel Cast, that is with a single L.